My name is Andrew. I am a rancher, a marksman, an outdoorsman, and a bladesmith. I've spent most of my life seeking adventure in one way or another, or in one place or another, and I would like to share all of that with you.
Hey folks, what is going on? Today I would like to go over my personal choice on the style of knife should I have to choose only one in my collection. So disclaimer, all the knives that you see on the table in front of me right now are knives that I made, and a lot of these are actually for sale on my Etsy shop. If you want to know the types of brands that I trust and would probably purchase if I didn't make my own, I would look at Essie. That's a really good brand. That's probably my number one choice. Then there is K-Bar, Buck Knives. Those are pretty good brands as well. And we'll go over the features that I would look for in a knife so you can make an educated decision on going and purchasing your own. So to go down the line here really fast, these are all knives that I actually made for myself to suit my own personal needs. One of the first knives that I made for myself was this bad boy right here. And this is made from 1/4-inch steel and was actually not hand forged. This was just cut to shape, but it is incredibly thick, almost impossible to break. I mean, it is a tough son of a gun, and the bevels could be improved, but it's still so thick that this knife comes in at almost 2 pounds. It's just absolutely absurd. So after that knife and what I considered to be a failure, I made my bushcraft knife. And this is designed after the Smith & Wesson Homeland Defense. So it has points on the front here to be lashed to a spear. So you'll see a hook right here and a slightly larger hook in the thumb grip. The problem with that concept is this thing is so tall that there is no penetration and there is no false edge on the point. The penetration is awful. So it's great for hacking things, great for skinning things. The thickness is 0.18, so it's not a full 1/4 inch, but it is still kind of a heavy knife. And it does have a solid full tang handle, but that could have been hollowed out a bit to lower the weight on the knife. And I think the only redeeming quality on this one was the fact that it came with a really nice sheath, and I did all the leather work for it. Holds my ferro rod and then holds my sharpening stone. But I used so much dang leather on it that the sheath itself is also about 1 pound. And I've since gotten a lot better with my sheaths, as you can see by this one right here, which is for my hunting knife. And I actually carry this one with me all the time. This is one of my favorites, and I really think that I did this one right. Very, very enjoyable. But should it come to the end of the world, something of that size, too small, I want something just a bit bigger. This one I made for my notorious trip out to Arizona where I crushed my finger, and totally awesome for small limbs. Lot of weight to it, so you can really swing and hack through things. So totally good for ranch knife. As far as the end of the world, this might be just a little bit too big for my taste, and the nature of it really does not scream self-defense unless I plan on slashing, but there is almost no penetrating ability due to the size of the tip. So great farm tool, not great all-around survival apocalypse knife. So what I actually chose for my apocalypse knife at first was this bad boy right here. And this one is actually for sale now on my Etsy shop. And I loved it so much that I decided to make my own in my favorite color with a blue handle and some very slight modifications that we're going to go over in this video. And I will explain why that is my choice for an apocalypse knife.
The first thing that I look for in a knife is a good quality hand grip, grippy, something that won't slip around when wet or bloody, and has a tang, meaning the knife goes all the way through the handle. This one has a nice high quality thumb grip, not too much, but just enough. The blade is pretty thick, something that is definitely hard to break, but it is not too thick, so it isn't too heavy. As you can see here, we have a regular bevel and a accessory bevel, which means that the penetration on the knife is pretty dang good. The handle is designed with a guard as well as a pommel, which means that this is good for thrusting as well as for swinging and won't go flying out of your hand. This knife is comfortable to use, balances well, just all around nice, comfortable, wonderful knife to use. You can see here's an example of swinging. While you're swinging, the knife shouldn't fall out of your hand. You should be able to swing it without fear of losing it. Also, you should be able to stab or thrust into something without cutting your fingers. Without a guard, your hand could just slip down and you lose all your fingers. Knife should also be sharpenable and sharp enough to do at least some basic tasks like cutting paper. You should actually be able to chop things with some success, or at least be able to baton the knife through wood to split it. You should be able to do some basic carving with the knife, hence it being a knife, and it should come finally with a high quality sheath that will protect the knife and protect you from the knife should you put it in your pocket or something.